Hi guys, we are back just like that with another video, and today is going to be a really good one. So buckle in. I'm going to play a quick clip before I start my commentary. So please make sure you are listening very closely.
I'm just putting this online because I need y'all support. I didn't call Kim, texted nannies. I got on the phone with Tristan. He said, he asked Chloe, won't nobody give me the address to my daughter's birthday party right now? And that's going to imprint in her mind that I wasn't there for her. You get what I'm saying? Like, I was supposed to be in Miami recording my album. My whole schedule is all based around me being able to take my kids to school, me being there for them, making sure that I'm in their life. That's the whole point of having money. They take so many fathers just throughout America. They've been taking the fathers out the homes purposely. So I'm speaking up. I'm using my voice to say, this ain't gonna keep happening. This narrative is not gonna happen. It's a lot of people that's not in a position where they ain't got no voice when people be playing games like this. Baby mamas be playing games. The grandmama be playing games like this. And it's like, as y'all know, they ain't finna play like that.
So in today's video, we are going to discuss Kanye West, Mr. Ye, who wants black people to put on their capes and fly in and save the day after he sold his soul to the non-melanated community. The irony. And I really hope that black women are not buying into this, because this is not our problem. Kanye West is not our problem. The Kardashians are not our problem, and this messy divorce that is unfolding right before our eyes is not our problem. Kanye West can keep the tears. Spare us the car videos and rants, because we don't care. Black women are not putting on the cape to save the day. Kanye West is a grown man and should be quite capable of handling the consequences of his choices in life. He decided to marry and impregnate a non-melanated identity thief and is now living the consequences of that decision. This is not our problem. Okay, he needs to phone home, and that phone is not in our community. This is not our problem. We don't want to hear it. Please save us, spare us. Let's be clear, Mr. 400 years of slavery was a choice. The black community owes you absolutely nothing. I'm so sick of black men like Kanye West pandering to the black community and black women for profit purposes and sympathy cards, yet they idolize the non-melanated behind closed doors, secretly want to be them, and place them on a pedestal in public. Let me break this down. Kanye West is attempting to use the black card he thought he had because y'all were his Yeezys. You see, the pandering is him telling the world how they've been taking fathers out of the home, yet he says nothing about black fathers as a black man, because that's really what he means. Because we all know that black fathers are the only ones who have been taken out of their homes since slavery. He knows good and well the fathers in the non-melanated community have never experienced this firsthand. You see, in 1965, during the height of the civil rights movement, a quarter of black families with children were headed by black women. Research has proven that the breakdown of the traditional family structure is one of the underlying causes of black poverty, not only because there is no man to provide family income, but because women on average earn less than men. This is why I preach the importance of black men providing and protecting for their homes. Slavery is the primary reason for the cause of the breakdown of the black family structure. It is the domino effect that put black men in jail at alarming rates, that put black men out on the streets high on drugs at alarming rates, and that killed black men and put them in the ground at alarming rates. The institution of slavery dismantled black families, and yet these slaves still valued community. Black slaves even created a system to foster, maintain, and care for black children who were separated from their biological parents. When children were stripped from their parents and sold away to other plantations, the slave community as a whole took on the responsibility to make sure these children were cared for. After the emancipation of slavery, these same black children were not welcomed into the child welfare system by whites, and Jim Crow laws prevented black children to be cared for by the institutions of white society that tried to place orphans in adoptive homes. It was not until the late 20th century that the child welfare system allowed blacks to participate in services that had been long reserved for the white community. So don't talk to me about broken homes. Don't talk to me about broken homes because your non-melanated family with calcified pineal glands is playing police games and refusing to give you an address to a house in the Hollywood Hills for a birthday party. We don't care. And don't talk to me about baby mamas because your wife was never one. Remember, you married her, right? Pandering. Kanye West referring to Kim as a baby mama is hilarious to me. And Kanye West trying to imply that his baby mama Kim and her momager Kris Jenner is inciting a riot to prevent him from seeing his child is even more hilarious. This is for TV soap opera with a horrible script. There is not an ounce of struggle or pain that the Kardashian family can relate to in regards to what black women have gone through back then and now raising kids as single mothers when the domino effect says it was by force and not by choice. If you did not know, the term baby daddy and baby mama originated as Negro dialect from the islands. Heavily used in Jamaica, your baby mother or baby father was typically someone with whom you were no longer romantically involved with. And if you called your husband your baby father, he might have been assaulted. The term suggests biological fatherhood in the absence of any real parenting. The term definitely implies that there is no marriage, not even a common law marriage, but rather that the child is an outside child. Kanye West knows nothing about a baby mama because he doesn't have one. It's the pandering for me. It's the privilege for me. It's the same privilege that Kanye West is attempting to use by going live in his car for millions of followers to see so that they can cry with him in the comments and sing Kumbaya because his non-melanated community is doing him so wrong. Yet the last time I checked, Kanye West was the only one who was on national TV cooning for them, tap dancing in Donald Trump hats and attempting to spark controversy for clout by actually saying out loud that slavery was a choice. Don't insult our intelligence like this. And here's a cherry on top, black women. Please listen very closely. Kanye West was deemed by Forbes as being worth $1.8 billion. Kanye West is a billionaire, okay, and has taken his wealth and invested it into the non-melanated community by marrying and having kids with a white woman, an identity thief. A woman whose family is so obsessed with black culture that they are confused as to who they even are. And here's the catch, which is sickening. The domino effect of slavery has evolutionized over the years, regardless of how the non-melanated try to discredit what black people have been through. The domino effect of slavery has evolutionized over the years. And how this shows up in modern day are lineages of black men in jail or in the ground. The rest have low-income jobs or do not make enough to properly cover a family. And so the remaining 1% is the cream of the crop. And this 1% of black men whose income will actually make a difference, whose income will actually further the black agenda, further the black community, and give their black children the best schooling and allow their black wives to stay home if they choose to. That will actually allow their black family to live a life of luxury, ease, and rest. Instead, these men have taken that wealth and put it into the non-melanated community. And if you think for a second that this is not psychological, that there is no psychological effect to all of this, it's time to wake up. I have no tolerance for men like Kanye West who pander to the black community.
Do you believe that there is a psychological consequence to black men dating white women or women outside of the race?
I mean, I could say yes to that, but with no actual science. I really can't speak on that actual term, but maybe some young black girl may feel that way, but to kind of generalize all black young women that they feel this way when they see a white woman with a black guy, that they feel like something's wrong with me. That's just kind of crazy, kind of just put them on that same pot that they feel this way when they see that, you know, if they were to see that. They feel like
you brothers are marrying and dating outside the race more than any other men do. And Sister Tammy, we have to also keep in mind that these are not just any black men off the street who are doing this. I mean, Dave Chappelle, very socially conscious. His wife is not black. Kanye West, socially conscious. His wife is not black. And then you add to that pot Russell Simmons, socially conscious. His wife is not black. And of course, you got the Charles Barkleys in the Jalen Rose. So you're not just talking about black men working at Walmart. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You're talking about multimillionaires and billionaires who are going to leave a very powerful financial legacy that's going to go right over to white women after they die. That is so disrespectful and insulting to all the generations of black men and women, ancestors who fought for them to be in the positions to acquire that wealth. It is unacceptable.
So Tammy, this is saying that we know what all our ancestors would say. What's to say that our ancestors didn't exercise forgiveness, even though they knew what was happening to them?
This is not about
like
forgiveness.
Forgiven.
It's not about hating white people.
You're saying, hold on, doctor.
I'm not against interracial marriage because I hate white people. I'm against interracial marriage because we need to build up our people, my brother. I have nothing against your white wife. I can have a great conversation with your white wife. And at the end of that conversation, I will respectfully let her know her husband had no business taking a woman other than one from his community as his wife. It's not about hating white women. It's about loving black women. And that's why we must protect the black family.
Another example of this is Virgil Abloh, whose $100 million net worth will be passed to his non-melanated wife and into their community. You will begin to notice through consciousness that a lot of these black men are marrying non-melanated women because they are in competition with the white man for what they think is the prize in America, the white woman, not knowing that the entire time the prize was already in their own communities. This is what happens when men like Kanye find out that they had imitation and not the real thing.
When a black man marries a white woman, he's making several clear points and messages he's sending out to his own people. Because there's no greater symbol of your loyalty to your struggle than to marry a sister who shares that struggle. Loving versus Virginia, and y'all need to see the movie. It just came out a few months ago. 1957, right about around that time, a white man named Loving from Virginia sued up to the Supreme Court for the right to marry a black woman. Up until then, several states still had anti-miscegenation law. After they struck down anti-miscegenation law across the country, 1957 or 67, somewhere within there, black men have married outside their race envy more than the men of all other races in America put together as a percentage. How do you explain that? Is love purely blind? I disagree. Love is a function of your values and your priorities. I would argue the reason black men marry white women is because they wish they were white themselves, and having the white man's prize, his queen, is a psychological symbol to myself that I am equal to him. So you can't be in love with white women and not at the same time feel inferior to white males.
My favorite actor, Denzel Washington, was casted for a movie called The Pelican Brief in 1993 with Julia Roberts. And there was big controversy surrounding this movie and an interview that he did because the script called for him to kiss Julia Roberts in one of the scenes, and he refused to. And when he was asked why he did this, his response was, "Black women are not often seen as objects of desire on film, and they have always been my core audience." Denzel recognized that outside of his own hard work, black women were likely the number one reason, the primary reason that his career was as great as it was. The support of the black woman helped get him casted for The Pelican Brief. Black men in the public eye like Denzel show us that it is okay to stand by your beliefs and to be unapologetic about the black community. Denzel not only talks black, but he sleeps black and is putting his $280 million net worth back into the community by giving his 4 kids that lives that only some can imagine. His son, John David Washington, has also followed in his father's footsteps and has become a rising star in the movie industry. If he too marries black, this financial cycle will repeat itself. This is the type of domino effect that we need. This is the type of domino effect that the black community needs in order to help combat the economic destruction of slavery in our communities. This is not about feelings and making the non-melanated community feel comfortable. This is about protecting the black family unit. Why? Because it was preyed on in the past. Because it was monetized off of. The black family unit must be cherished, treasured, and protected at all costs. Melanin will forever be gold. A win-win. Until next time.